Welcome to the Little Nugget Show. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Flaco Watts, also known as Watty Watts, and I am here to discuss the Denver Nuggets as we are post game every game, post the NVR Nuggets because they come first. Now, I did mention in a super chat that I'm going to crack the code. I feel like I've cracked the code. And unlike other cheese dick YouTubers, I'm not going to say stick around to the end of the video and I'll let you know how I cracked the code. We're going to crack that ass right off the bat. Wait, that didn't sound good. So, bipolar is the way I describe this team. Obviously, we lose by 1 to the Los Angeles Clippers after having a break of All-Star. Then we beat the Portland Trailblazers by the biggest margin of any team on the planet this year. Interesting. And then we lose a game that we had in the bag. Even though they played like shit the entire game, except for the third quarter, apparently. And I have a funny story to tell about that. And then today we show up. I'll be the first to admit that I pretty much gave up on this team and said over the next 24 games, they're going to lose 20 of them and only win 4. I'm looking at Boston, OKC, Minnesota. How many times do we have to play OKC? 3 times. San Antonio once, twice at least. It ain't going to get pretty if we don't get our shit together, right? The entire year you're thinking, well, as long as we get back this guy or this guy from injury, we'll be all right. And then today, Jokic didn't play terrible, but we don't have Jamal Murray, and the team comes together under adversity, losing another player, and finds a way to win. So I'm thinking to myself, is it the jerseys? No. We can go over the jersey win rates in a while. Stick around to the end of the show, and I'll go over jersey win rates. There is actually a big indicator there, and I forget which jersey it is, but it is distinct. Oh, it's the Mile High City. That's right. But we'll get to that at the end of the show. Stick around. Here's the code that I've cracked. I have to look back. It's a small sample size, but we have 4 games. 2 games were losses, devastating, thinking that the season's over, and 2 games were wins, greatest feeling on earth. Of course, we never doubted you. We just beat Portland by 54 points. We just bitch slapped Boston in Denver like it was no big deal. They're running in the Ball Arena with 5 straight wins and the second leading offense, and we literally hold them to 80-some points, right? So what could it be? Well, first I'll tell you what it isn't, and I'm literally not dragging it out for no reason. What I'm saying is the last game, maybe it's the bad energy in my blood, but I see the team start out rough, and I see them get behind, and they're down 9 at half, and I'm frustrated. And then my streaming service goes out. DirecTV. I will mention it. First year I've been using DirecTV to get altitude, and it literally just shorts out and says, I'm sorry, we don't have the feed from this channel anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? And after about like 3 or 4 minutes of yelling and screaming and about to get my punching bag out, I'm like, well, let me just see if I can get into it some way or another. I realize if I fast forward to the near end of the recording, because I always watch recordings, because who wants to watch commercials, right? I get to the point where the game comes back on, and I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm really fuming at this point, watching the game with my wife. We're both upset. They're playing like shit. You got to realize we lost it in the beginning of the third quarter, and they were down 9 at half, and then I think they went down some more to start the third. And then we turn it back on, and I was like, motherfucker, son of a butt. What? Denver's up by 3? 7 minutes to go in the fourth? Are you kidding me? How did that happen? Okay, I feel great. Hey, I'm not going to go bomb DirecTV's building after all. Joke, allegedly, in Minecraft. So I come back to my senses and I'm like, wow, this is great. Oh, they just went up to 5. They went up by 5 and it was like 7 minutes, 50 seconds left. And then 20-2 run. I'm like, what is it about me that's causing them to lose? No, this is where conspiracy superstitions come into play, right? I was blaming it on the jerseys last year. This year, I blame it on myself anytime. I've also made a rule that I will never bet for or against the Denver Nuggets or the Denver Broncos because every time I do, it ruins it for me, especially I'm usually because they lose. However, this superstition, I mean, that one was obvious. It was like, obviously it's me. I turn the TV back on and they go on a 22 run. Are you kidding me? And then they literally just died in the fourth quarter and threw the game away. But then I thought back to a time not that long ago when Denver walked into Portland, Oregon and came out intending violence. Now, the argument that I've made is Denver has no violence in their DNA. And anytime they're met with aggression, they're going to get owned. They just show it over and over and over and over again. They cannot handle pressure. They cannot handle aggression. Jokic gets, and I think Jokic is the leader. He's the one that sets the tone. He's the one with the attitude. They start banging him and he gets pissed. He doesn't want to play that way. He wants to play real basketball, whatever. There ain't real basketball anymore. The only answer to violence is more equal or greater violence. A lesson I learned as a young pup, growing up in the hood, more or less. If you're going to get beat up and bullied, it'll never stop. Matter of fact, it gets worse. But the day you stand up and fight back, or the day you get taller than everyone and beat some ass, then they realize, wait, we don't need to do that anymore. And that's what you got to do on defense. And we only got one or two guys that can do it. Maybe four, and two of them are on the bench. Spencer. I don't really see it in Christian Brown yet. Who am I thinking of? Spencer, Bruce Brown, number one, I'll say. And then Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson, and they're on the bench. But today, they came out and chose violence. Although, no, let's go back to Portland. Immediately I saw Jokic going to the paint. Jokic driving into the hole. Jokic making, barbecue chicken out of his defender. He controlled the game by penetrating the paint. Now, I did something I hadn't done all year. Actually, I've never done before for that game. And when it was over and they won by 54 points, I thought, you know what? Maybe it's what I did that caused this. And despite feeling 100% certain that Denver was going to lose to Boston today and go with their tail between their legs to Oklahoma City and get probably bitch slapped again, I was just down in the dumps with Denver. However, I said, you know what? What if I try the same thing I did with Portland? And I did it. And it worked. This is the code cracking. As I said 2 shows ago, go back and watch the Portland show. I said, tonight I'm in the kill or be killed mentality. I'm in the mindset that they need. The one I complained about from the last game. You guys are too passive. You need to fight back. You need to walk in there ready to die on the court. Kill or be killed. Put the women and children to bed and let's go looking for dinner. So what do? I turn the sound off. I mute it. No commentators, no commercials. Put my headphones on. As loud as they'll go. I started that game with Alice in Chains, Rooster. And then I walked through this little Gen X playlist of mine. And it was vicious, violent, and intense. And there is nothing like it. Go back and watch my Portland show. It was awesome. Because how many things line up? Like the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon lines up with The Wizard of Oz, apparently. I don't know if that's just smoking too much weed, but that was the rumor when I was a kid. And we tested it out a few times. But to watch something while listening to super intense music or any music that sets a different mood other than the bullshit commentators and the bullshit commercials and stuff, that changes things. It's a whole different portal that you go into. And what happened? They win by 54 in Portland. So tonight I said, that's our only chance. I have to do it again. And I literally put the women and children to bed because my wife has to go to work in the morning, and it was a late game. She was like, I'm just going to watch it on my phone as I go to bed. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going downstairs, and I'm making it as loud as possible. Well, headphones. Stereo's on the fritz right now, but we'll get that fixed by the playoffs because that's what we need. Anyway, so I get my headphones in, get the game going, mute everything, turn off all the lights. And tonight, I decided we're going to have to bring in Tool. Lateralis was the album that I listened to. And it was intense. And it was fun. And it was great. And by the end of the show, I think I had switched to Enema. Or for those of you Tool fans out there, Lateralis used to be my favorite. I mean, they're all pretty good. Not going to lie, to be honest. But I listened to the entire Lateralis, more or less. And then I literally started the fourth quarter with the, what's the song? Reflection and then Triad, the last two like big bangers. And that just, it was a beautiful fourth quarter. And then I finished it with switching to Enema, and I literally couldn't stop listening to it after the game. I was so pumped. So I decided next game, I'm starting with Enema. A-E, Enema, Tool, look them up. Otherwise, build your own playlist, but try it. I swear, try it. We walk into Oklahoma City, the desolate plains of America, the desolate plains in the heartland of America, with our most hated nemesis, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet, Hartenstein. Who else do they have that we can't stand? All of them. Isaiah Joe, J-Dub, J-Will, J-What, yeah, we can't stand them. They're the most cheese dick cringe team on the NBA roster. And Denver's the most, I would say, purist. We want to play the right way. But who's the most violent? Well, going forward, if we want this championship, we have to be the most violent. Because if you meet them with violence, you can always back off and play your game. But if they meet you with violence, you've lost your game. Is it not that simple? It has to be that simple, doesn't it? So as we walk into the desolate plains of Middle America, having flown into some podunk regional airport from Denver on a 17-minute flight, it's probably like an hour. Walking into the, when are they playing? In 2 days. So they'll probably travel tomorrow, spend the night in OKC, go out to dinner. That sounds exciting. But then they go into the arena at, is it 8 o'clock again? I think it's another 8 o'clock game, which is great because 1:30 on Sunday, that doesn't look good. I don't know. We're all going to have to listen to maybe some Nine Inch Nails, Alice in Chains, Pantera, whatever the hardest shit you can find at 1 p.m. on a Sunday. Actually, that sounds a little blasphemous or sacrilege, but Sunday 1:30 p.m. games, not good, not good. But it is at home, so you never know. Our record at home is worse than on the road, but we'll see. Anyway, so I throw on Tool, Enema, start out, and it goes, and then we start dominating OKC. If that happens, you'll know. You will know that you heard it here first. And we need to coin this phrase. What is it? It's the violence of mood. The violence mood. The violence of aggression, mood of determination. Something like that. Because you know guys that you play with, they just jack around, they don't take it serious. And in sports, I was always the opposite. I'm talking about showing up to a track meet, thinking kill or be killed. And I was taught that in football, I guess, and it never went away. And it definitely happened in basketball. But even in track, matter of fact, tomorrow I'm coaching track as a helper. And I'm thinking to myself, How do we communicate to these young people? My daughter's on the track team, and she is a sophomore, 16, knows everything. How do I communicate to these people? And I was going to tell them, guys, this game is 100% mental. Everybody knows how to do this, this, and this. But you need to train this first. This is how you win. And the mindset, set the mindset, that's what we'll call it, has to be aggression, domination, violence. And it's not violence against other people while you're running the 100 meters. It's violence of the action, violence of the motion, violence of the interaction with the earth. You're literally kicking the shit out of the earth. Bam, 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 bam. And it's mindset. And I'll tell you why I know this is true. Because lowly old me that's a shade under 6 feet tall won state in the high jump, believe it or not. Not lying. This is not even in Minecraft. I'd won it. Against guys that had jumped 4 inches higher than me during the season. Against guys that were taller than me. Against guys that were darker skinned than me. All friends. We were great friends. But during the competition, the one thing I had was the mental game. And I'm not saying playing dirty tricks. But when it came down, because in high jump, you get 3 attempts at each height. And you go in a different order. The same order for each height, but somebody's got to go first. If you clear it on your first one, and then your guy misses on the next one, then you've taken the lead, even though you both cleared the same height. And that's how you dominate. You go out there and I don't know how to explain it, but we're going to experiment with it the rest of the season. Domination. A term yet unfamiliar with the DNA of the Denver Nuggets. But hopefully, I mean, I thought when they went out and beat Portland like that, Joker heard me. I was like, the 3 things I had were, Joker, you got to change your mouthpiece. We can't have yellow mouthpiece. You need a fucking haircut and shave your face, please. Maybe a little goatee and a mustache, but make it clean, please. Don't look like you're homeless like I do. You have $50 million coming to you every year. Like, give me a break. And the third thing was be aggressive, be violent, be, take it to him. And he took it to him and they won. He didn't change his mouthpiece and he didn't get a haircut. And he still hasn't done that. But then when they lost the next game, I was like, no. And then today I didn't like it either. Jokic taking the ball at the top of the 3-point, top of the key. I don't like their offense. I don't like it. You know what offense I like is when Tim Hardaway penetrates the paint and catches Cam Johnson cutting to the basket. That's the offense I like. Pass from the top, backdoor cutters. Tim Hardaway with the dunk. That's what we like. The little new guy, KJ Simpson, I think, going to the hole and dunking it. And how about, to me, the biggest, baddest dunk of the game was Bruce Brown two-handed. And they're all backdoor cuts. Or cuts in general. We don't need to be shooting 29 three-pointers and a half. Especially if you're going to miss 20 of them. We got any viewers? Oh, we got 3 viewers and 1 comment. This may be the first freaking comment on the Little Nugget Show. My cannabis growing show, which you're welcome to join us for tomorrow at 11 p.m., is called The Grow Show Live with Flaco Watts. Tonight we have Try the Fish, It's Good, with a lot of underscores, saying try Mastodon's Leviathan album, and I will look that up. Oh, I should share that. So I learned in my last show that I've got to read the comments because some people are just listening. They don't see them. But I am going to look it up now. Levi album by Mastodon. Okay, I have it now bookmarked, and I will experiment with it, and maybe we'll put it in the playlist for the battle against OKC. Is it politically incorrect for me to think that I feel like we're going on horseback because we're Broncos, right? And we're gold miners, and we're coming from the hills of Colorado down into the plains of Oklahoma. And what do we have to fend off? Los Indios, the Indians. Are we going to battle the Indians in Oklahoma City? Is that politically incorrect? Look, I grew up in New Mexico, and it's like 1/3 Indian, 1/3 Hispanic, 1/3 white. So I didn't realize that people are a lot more racist in other places where that's not. Whatever. I just think Indians love their culture, and they don't really get that offended unless they're in the college or university setting and they're super overweight and they're in feminine studies or something like that. But otherwise, the Indians we played in basketball would kick our ass up one side and down the other. They were really good at basketball. Matter of fact, I think they had a couple guys that played at UNM. And UNM's a big basketball school. You guys didn't know. I bet they're in first place. We got to check that out. Remind me to check that out. How did I get distracted here? Oh, Indians, Oklahoma City. So we're going to, take our 30-30s because we carry 30-30s and they have bows and arrows. And sometimes they stick us with the bows and arrows. And those, I'm just picturing Shay coming into the lane and going, ooh, and one. God, I can't stand that. You know what the best example against that is? Julian Strother tonight. Driving from the half court, bouncing Derek White off of him like he was a fly on a freaking semi-truck going down the freeway. And then finishing with the beautiful finger roll off the glass. That's how you play basketball. You knock them on their ass and then finish the play. I think the refs did a pretty good job, all things considered. They are NBA refs, so you got to hold them to a lower standard because most NBA refs are obviously shit. But I think they did a really good job of letting the teams play, and and it seemed like both ways. It's a whole lot different when you're listening to music and watching the game. It's just in a whole different world, I swear. I don't know what we'll call this, but the first time I ever did it, I've only done it 3 times. Portland, Boston, and the Super Bowl 50 with the Denver Broncos. I don't even think I've done it on a football game since. I was going to do it this year, but they didn't make the Super Bowl. And I definitely wasn't going to do it with old Stiddy. Who was this? Stidham, the backup quarterback. I was distraught with Bo Nix. Anyway, the first time I did it was Denver Broncos against the Carolina Panthers. Von Miller MVP, Super Bowl 50. I put the women and children to bed. I literally had, my son was, 10 years ago was 2016. I think it was on his birthday, like February 7th. But he was only 4. Actually, 16, 4. He had just turned 4, maybe. So we had to put the women and children to bed for that. And that was intense. That was the most enjoyable experience of my life in sports. I guarantee it. And this is coming from a guy who lost $125 as a third grader, $124 actually, as a third grader or fourth grader, I believe. Fourth grader. Betting on the Denver Broncos, mind you, as a fourth grader. Because in third grade, they lost to the Giants. And John Elway. I'm a big John Elway fan because everyone in that school was a Dallas Cowboys fan. So I'm like, I got to be counterculture, contrarian. I want the Broncos because I knew geography. That's the next closest city. Arizona doesn't count. So Denver Broncos it is. John Elway, he's a badass. Favorite. Oh, they're in the Super Bowl. Awesome. I'm talking second and third grade. I'm getting into the Broncos. I'm distraught that they lose to the Giants, but next year they're going back to the Super Bowl. And I had gotten a jersey. I had gotten a little one of those triangle things, and I put this little shrine up around my parents' TV. And yes, I had bet a kid, Luis Lucero, rest in peace, $124. Why $124? Because I had just made that off of selling a pig at the state fair, at the county fair. Yeah, that's what we did out there in the sticks. I sold a pig and I had $124. And I said, I'll bet everything that Denver beats Washington. And what happened? Denver gets out to a 10-0 lead. Dennis Smith, Steve Atwater, 2-7. How cool is that Murray and Atwater are 27? They get out to a 10-0 lead, and I'm like, this is beautiful. And then they proceed to get their asses kicked, like, what was it, 55-10? From that day forth, I never bet on the Denver Broncos again. And to go through that back-to-back Super Bowl losses, and then 2 years later, another bitch slapping to what, the 49ers maybe? To lose 3, and then to hear about it. Because I'm like the only Bronco fan in the area at the time. To hear about it year after year, and then John Elway, he just can't win it. He just can't win it. But then what is it? Geez, how many years would that have been? Because I was out of high school by the time they won. 97, 98? It was 96, 97, 97, 98. Back-to-back Super Bowl champion. So that was the highlight up to that point. However, how many years was it from John Elway Super Bowl to Peyton Manning Super Bowl? It had been a long time. I'd come from 19 years old to probably 35. Geez, was it 15 years? And I had 2 children, 2 small children. And I'm like, the Broncos are back. They had gotten beat, what, the year before or the 2 years before? In humiliating fashion again against Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 2 years before. And then they come back and get it done. And I watched it with the music, and it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So I encourage all of you to do that this Sunday. Or no, wait. So it would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday is 8 p.m. OKC. It can't be 8 p.m. if it's in OKC. We're going to have to pull up the schedule. Also curious to see what we have in the standings. Let's do that. We do not have any more comments, so that makes it easy. But we're going to share our screen and try and zoom in so you can read it. Oh my, would you look at that? Would you look at that? The Thunder lost to the Pistons in Detroit, Motor City. We are not going around the... Actually, let's go here. Oh, don't do that. Oh, you guys don't even see that. That's right. Son of a biscuit. Now we're cooking with fire. All right, so... today, since it's past midnight, tomorrow, 7:30 in Oklahoma City. That's a late one for them. 8:30 p.m. So I will be back here Friday at 11:30 p.m. Always 4 hours after the start time of the game. You can count on me come hell or high water. If you want to know where I grew up, watch that movie. It was filmed in my town. Hell or High Water. Good movie. They pretended it was Texas, but it was actually New Mexico. And then we got what? Sunday, 1:30. Yeah, they didn't change it. That sucks. Spurs and Knicks. That'll be good. What else do we have? who do we need to lose? Let's go back to, we have to go back, don't we? The standings. The Pistons have won one. And they're now 43-14. And does that put them in the first place of the league? 45-15. So the official indicator is that 7-5-0. That means they're 3-1. 3-1's good. But Detroit has taken the lead because they are 7-5-4. So now Detroit is the number one team in the NBA. I knew the OKC would fall. Not only they're going to fall to Detroit, but they're going to fall to the Spurs. Spurs have won 10 straight, dude. They're unstoppable. Until they play the Nuggets. Actually, you know where we get a better look is NBA.com. Oh, no. That's not it. We'll save that one for the next. We're going to go Denver Nuggets schedule. Boom. I got to see when they're playing San Antonio. Because I feel like it's more than... I am not going to lie. I don't care what music we play on Sunday. I think Minnesota's got that one. Unless they don't show up. But a 1:30 game, what are we, 0-100? And the Mile High City jersey at home, I think we're like 30% win rate. Not going to lie. So that one's suspect. Utah will be a nice win. LA's kind of weak now. We got the Knicks, but we're wearing the 5280, so we're definitely going to beat them there at home. OKC again, it depends on how we handle them, but we're going to take them 2 rounds already. 3, I guess it'll be the 3rd round, but these 2 are away. And then the Rockets, I'm actually going to go to that game, so we'll see you guys there. I'll wave on the team. Oh, there's the Spurs. So we have at least 2 Spurs games because the last one's the Spurs, and they're both away. Don't tell me there's 3 Spurs games. There is 3 Spurs games. Well, we will definitely know who's the better team by the end of the year. I'm picking San Antonio 1, OKC 2, Denver 3. Today I'm picking Denver 3. Yesterday, after the last game, I was picking Denver, lucky to make the play-in. If they go 4-20 in their last 24 games. So the 12th and the 4th of April, a home and an away, and then another away. So we apparently have already lost to San Antonio. Or did we beat them? I think we barely lost to them, didn't we? Where the heck is the Nuggets game? Oh, there it is. So let's check out the box score here. First, the line scores 24-21. Yep, Denver lost by 3 in the first quarter, but won by 2 in the second quarter, down by 1 at half. Third quarter, domination. Not just domination, but it was the last 2 minutes of the game where they went on an 11-0, 12-0, more or less run to hold them to 19-17 in the second half, which is 36 points. 36 points in the second half. Denver scored 41, 41, 42. And then they had the game in hand against Portland. Can you believe that? They only scored 36 in the second half. And we scored 56. Good job, Denver. Every Nugget was good, weren't they? Who was not good? Even Cam John. Bruce didn't make any buckets, I don't think. Let's check. But his defense set the tone. That's what you need. You need the violence. Violence of aggression. Kill or be killed. We're done with this. You're either going to show up and win or you're not. And if you don't have the right attitude, we'll go CB -2. Not going to lie. I can kind of see that. Jamal Murray was a flat 0 ±0, but he played 8 minutes and went out. That was the other thing about Jamal Murray is I'm not watching the game or I'm not listening to the game, so I don't know. But I knew when that little KJ Simpson comes in, he dunks. I don't dunk. Although I am trying. I'm going to be working out for the next 6 to 9 months so I can dunk as I turn 50. Hold me accountable. That'll be next year, next season of the Denver Nuggets in November. But I'm literally starting tomorrow training for that with the track practice. The only reason I help kids coach basketball or whatever is so that I can get in shape and I can play. You know how hard it is to get gyms to play in as an adult? You can't. But if you have your own little club team with 10 or 8 guys and you ask the city, hey, can we use your gym? Sure. When do you want it? How about Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8? Yeah, we can do that. Awesome. That's the life hack right there if you're into basketball. Or you can pay $100 a month and go to the Y. Or if you're in Denver, I'm sure there's plenty of options. But we ain't in Denver, Toto. We're not in Denver. All right, what do we got? +13 from Jokic, and Cam John was a +17. Spencer Jones was a +22. Did he have any points? 6 points. And a +22. I'm telling you, Bruce Brown and Spencer Jones. Oh, Bruce Brown did have 4 points. 1 of 8. 2 of 2 from free throws. That's why. 4 points. Who had the rebounds? 12. Jokic, another dozen. So he had 30 and 12, only 6 assists. I don't mind. I'd rather see 30 and 12 and 6 than, I don't know, 24 or 30, 20, 10. 30, 20. The only difference between 30, 20, 10 and 30, 12, 6 is a W. He had a 30, 20, 10 and he lost. Give me a break. All right, so Maul had 2 points. Oh, he had that dunk. I think that's when he realized he was sick. He went up to dunk and he almost got stuffed by the rim. And he was like, Coach, take me out. I just don't have it tonight. DH had DH2. He's got to have a cool nickname. D2, R2D2, R2D2. Deron Holmes the second. He had a 3-pointer and he was 2 of 2, 1 of 1. Yeah, I remember he had one from the free throw line more or less. KJ Simpson playing 14 minutes on Jamal Murray's absence. He puts up 2 points. And those were his first 2 points, I think. If I'm not mistaken, NBA. No, he played for freaking, what was it, Charlotte? I think he was a two-way for Charlotte. So he might have already scored in the NBA. But that was his first 2 points for the Nugs. And it was quite the little dunk. I did not think he could dunk. He seems like he's a 6-footer. But I guess 6-footers can dunk. Not me, but other ones. When you're 21, you can probably get away with it. Okay, Zeke Naji didn't have any points, and he was a +1. I thought he played pretty good. Did he have, 3 rebounds? Yeah. Valanciunas, 11 points, 6 boards. Not bad. +7. Hardaway, did he make any threes? 1 of 4. How do we do on threes? 15 of 43. 35%. If you're not shooting 40% as a team, we got problems. So who helped? Who hurt us? Anyone under 40? Jokic was 30. I guess it all had to do with Jokic. If you take 13 threes and you only make 4. But he made some critical ones. Not going to lie. What you saw tonight in the MVP race, if you just looked at the 2 players and the 2 teams, Jaylen Brown and Nikola Jokic, Nikola Jokic he looks like he doesn't want to be out there. Like he hasn't showered in a month. He definitely hasn't shaved. He's got personal problems up one side and down the other. And he's super out of shape. If not practically handicapped and needing a wheelchair. That's what it looks like to me. But he plays magic. Like that shot from the corner. Oh, my word. And then those other 3 threes that he made were, wow, Dimmer's out. Jalen Pickett, Peyton Watson, Aaron Gordon, Tamar Bates, Curtis Jones. I thought they got rid of, oh no, they only got rid of Hunter. It's a sad day. We miss you, Hunter. But Jamal Murray too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What else? Christian Brown. What's going on there? -2. 6 points. How did you shoot? 2 of 5 from 3-point. That's not terrible. I feel like he should have had 4 or 5. He should literally have had 4 or 5. All of his were wide open. They leave his ass open. 7 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, but Cam John with the plus 17, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Do we have any steals and blocks? 1 of each from Julian. That's right. I remember he blocked that Garza, didn't he? Julian's my player of the game. What are we talking about? Duh. He had the floater, the Jew float. I'm picturing something like the Jew straw teardrop. That running floater in the lane. That's the most pretty shot. And he has, in my opinion, the best ability to drive to the rim. And he's not bad finishing. He's just long and he can get it done. I mean, my favorite's Jamal, but why they don't take it to the rim? Julian will, if you tell him go, he goes. And I love it when he goes and then he steps back and hits a 3 too. He did that a couple times. Absolutely player of the game. How did he only have 12 points? 5 of 9. 55 or 56, 40, and 0. No free throws. No free throws. That motherfucker got hammered. He got hammered a few times on the way to the rim. You know who else got hammered was that KJ Simpson. So he was 1 of 5. I don't remember him missing 4. I remember him missing like 2 or 3. But he just got assassinated at the rim. And he went sliding on the ground and was like, what? How do you not call a foul? And that was a learning experience for him because I think his guy that he should have gone back to guard, Pritchard, ended up getting the ball, driving the hole, and scoring. So don't complain to the refs, especially when you're a rookie. You're not getting that call when you're a rookie. Oh, do we even take a decent look at the standings? We did not. Denver's in 4th. But they are 7.5. So the reason the Nuggets have the same games back from the Thunder, 1 more loss than the Rockets, 1 more win than the Rockets. That's how we get to the same. But the 632 beats the 627. How about that? 627. Let's go, Murray. The T-Wolves are a game back, and then we have to play them. So if we can sweep these 3 games, that'll be huge. Who do the T-Wolves play? Clippers today in LA. I hope they lose that one. Okay. So if they do beat the Clippers and we unfortunately find ourselves on the losing end of the Oklahoma City debacle, then we would be what? 37-23, and they would be 37-23. We would be the same, and we would be playing each other. So what we need is the T-Wolves to lose tomorrow to the Clippers. So tomorrow, if they're in LA, are they going back to Minnesota or no? Are they coming to Denver? Let me think. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday, right? They say today, and that said tomorrow. Why doesn't it go to their games? What the heck? Tomorrow. Timberwolves. Why is it? How did I freak this out? We've broken the... Okay, well, maybe we're doing... There we go. Timberwolves games. That's how we got lost. So today is Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Curious to know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. Does Minnesota go back to Minnesota after playing the Clippers tonight? I mean, they're literally finishing at 11 p.m. West Coast time. They ain't getting to the plane until midnight. They're 2 hours ahead of Minnesota. So that's 2 a.m. And then they fly back for 2 hours. That's 4 a.m. They're not flying back tomorrow. They're going to play the game and stay in LA. And then would they go back to Minnesota for 1 day? And then come to Denver the next day? Saturday? They got to come to Denver on Saturday. No, I think they're going to come early. They're going to be in Denver. Let's find those motherfuckers and throw some eggs at their windows or something. You know, allegedly in Minecraft. We're not really doing that. How funny would it be if those fools, Gobert, as Anthony Edwards calls him, Gobert, AE and Gobert are out to eat, and you go out to eat and you see them there? That would be funny. I wouldn't mind living in Denver for a little while. Not down here in lowly old Pueblo, but I got like 4 years left till my kids are done with the BS of this town. Not gonna lie, I call it Shit Town, USA. Highest crime rate in the state by double. Second place, believe it or not. We don't fuck around. All right, so we're gonna go back to... Can we go to the Nuggets? Now we're in the Nuggets. And if we go games, then we see Nuggets games. There we go. Utah Monday? Was that a back-to-back? What the absolute living double back-to-backs? Surely Denver has the record for back-to-backs. Sunday, Monday, and then Thursday, Friday. Didn't we just do 3 games in 4 days? They don't stop. And then they have to have a back-to-back on the whatever the Grizzlies game is they threw in. Yeah, 17th, 18th, 12, 14, 11, 12. There's another one. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with the NBA? Just schedule everyone every 2 days. And then go every 3 days for some of them. Spread it out if you have to. Get rid of the fucking preseason. I'm sick of back-to-backs. Although we do better on back-to-backs, especially on the road. So, but that's craziness. Grok. Help me out, Grok. Where's my phone? One of my favorite things to do here, if you're new here, is to pull up our good friend AI. Hey, Grok, tell me about the Denver Nuggets and their season schedule. How many back-to-back games have they and will they play for the entire regular season? Meaning they play 1 day and then they play the next day, a back-to-back.
Grabbing the latest on the Nuggets, schedule, and back-to-backs coming up. The Denver Nuggets are sitting at 36 wins and 22 losses right now. Solid 3rd or 4th in the West, depending on the night. Jokic is still the engine. Murray's been clutch when healthy, and they've got that mile-high grit, even if injuries have nipped at them lately. Here's a quick look at the squad in action. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray doing their thing, and Ball Arena lit up at night, home sweet home. On the schedule, they play 82 games total, like always. For back-to-backs, meaning games on consecutive days, the Nuggets drew 16 of those sets this season. That's tied for the most in the league, along with teams like the Suns and Sixers. Each set is 2 games, so 16 means 32 individual games in B2B situations. As of today, they've already knocked out about 12 of those, going 8-4 so far. Pretty decent. That leaves 4 more ahead in March and April. The schedule's packed, but Jokic usually thrives under load. Just don't ask him about the altitude jokes. Want details on upcoming ones or how they're performing on zero rest?
That's crazy. So Denver is number 1 with back-to-backs. Do I not have that instinct to see? Like, what the fuck? Tied with the Sixers and the Suns for 16 sets of back-to-back. 32 out of 82 games are played back-to-back. And then the other thing is that they have, like, you know, what did they have the last time? They had a back-to-back. Then they had one, and they didn't even have, like, a full day of rest. It was like a 1:30 game after playing at 8. Golden State. The Clippers and Golden State and Portland. What a road trip. Fuck that West Coast road trip. I don't know, man. We're going to need those wins if we want to end up. I mean, if Denver finishes strong, we got a real shot at third. But it's just a matter because the Timberwolves and the Lakers, they fuck around too much. The Suns and the Warriors, we don't need to worry about. It's the Rockets, I think. I mean, if the Timberwolves get hot, maybe. But Denver's got to get hot. I mean, I'm talking 2-1. So now I've changed from 4 wins out of 24 to 16 wins, 8 losses in the next 24. Does that include this one? We have 59 games. Yeah, so it was 58. This is one of the 24. This is the first of the 24, the victory over Boston. So mark my words, we're going to go, I literally just said, we're going to go 4-20 in the last 24. Denver's 4-6 in the last 10. I mean, give me a break. Look at the records of everybody. Even OKC, 6-4, 6-4 Rockets, 10-0 Spurs, 6-4 Wolves. The only worst team is the Suns, 3-7. They've lost 2 in a row. The Warriors don't count because they're in 8th. Wait, I guess they do count. So they're one team tied and one team worse. Even below us, 5-5 Blazers and Clippers. Hell, even in the Kings won a game. But 1-9. Poor guys. Poor Russ. Tank. Well, what do you think? We got any more comments? Where'd you guys go? Oh, we got 2 more comments. Try the fish, it's good. I like that. CB2 uptight, he's not. I know. He says CB2 uptight, he's not growing out of it. Man, that ankle thing freaks me out. I honestly don't think he's gonna. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Next comment, 3 games in 3.5 days. That's what it was. It wasn't even 4 days. It was like 3.5. Crazy. If you're new here, I have to drink these nonstop because my brain requires a lot of glucose to run. A lot of brain damage. Anyway, what's the deal with CB? Not gonna lie. The thing with CB is that ankle injury. I mean, he missed a lot of games. So a few times I thought he was almost back when he goes up for a dunk. But I'm worried that there's a tear in there that he is struggling with, and he's going to have to wait. If he wants to get it fixed, he's going to have surgery. And if he has surgery, he's out, much of the rest of the season. So he's waiting till the end of the season. That's my opinion. And Jokic too. Jokic needs to clean up his wrists. I know. I've had the surgery to clean up my wrists. I had a nice surgery to clean up my wrist, and it worked. But when you have that wrist pain, like I could never do push-ups, and it's from falling on skateboarding and snowboarding, just tearing everything over and over. And then they go in there and they're like, oh man, that was kind of messed up. And then they fix it. Rascals actually shortened my ulna radius, by 2 millimeters to give my wrist more room. It was awesome. Tell you no lies. I wasn't happy at the time because they put this metal plate on. And he was like, I said, can we take it off after a while? Well, yeah, you could probably take it off. Come to find out, they don't like taking those off. I was stuck with it for, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years. And I finally found somebody and I was like, get this shit out of me. I don't need this fucking plate and 7 screws. That's what they did. They put my bone in a vise and then they cut a 2mm swath out of it. They clamp it together, put the plate on it, and zzz, 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 zzz. But when you have a plate on your bones bend. Your bones are flexible. Plates don't bend. So here on the end of that plate, where my bone was flexing, but the plate wasn't, it was building. It literally, they said they had to grind it off, chip it off, because it had grown a big old knot on the end of that plate. Because I had a tree business, so we were always picking up logs and shit. And why did I get lost in this? Oh, surgeries, CB, yeah. I think a lot of these guys need those little cleanup surgeries, and they're not bad. You know, as soon as the season's over, get it done. I just wish I saw the old CB, the one that dunked on Gobert. Probably my favorite dunk of all time. Not going to lie. Put yours in the comment, chat. Favorite dunk of all time from Christian Brown. Well, I know Bruce Brown's favorite dunk of mine was tonight. That was sick. I wish I could pull up highlights. But the one on Gobert, for those of you that are complaining, I do parlez-vous français? Oui. Voulez-vous danser avec moi? I'm trying to remember the rest of the French I know. Yes, I actually took French in high school. I don't remember any of it. But Gobert. I guess it would be Gobert. Because the R's are always like, ugh. But I like Gobert. He's kind of like a clown. He's like a big, doofy Gumby. And he's kind of hard to hate. AE, Anthony Edwards, he's a cocky-ass motherfucker, kind of easy to hate, but not going to lie, after the game, he's a pretty cool dude. Don't clip that. Don't erase that from the internet, please. I did not say AE could be a cool dude. But there is one motherfucker thug on the Minnesota Timberwolves that I can't stand. There's actually 2, but one of them left. Actually, I don't even remember who's there still. Is it Jaden McDaniels? Is McDaniels the one that stayed, or Keen Alexander Walker? Those 2, what's a kind word for hood rat thugs? Those 2 thugs are just, I can't stand them. McDaniels especially. That's the thing, though. They jump up on you and they fuck your leg like a horny ass dog on defense. Leg fuck. That's what can I tell my middle school boys team? I never said that. And I was like, you got to like jump up on them. Like, you know how a dog humps a leg? Jump on their leg. They do it in the NBA, I promise. But you can't really talk like that because then they get, you know, there's all kinds of weird shit going on now. But when I was a kid, when we had coaches, they cussed up one side and down the other. And they were like, yeah, they didn't hold back. There was none of that. Our freaking football coach had a broken arm and he hit us in the head. He had broken his arm in football, never got it fixed. And so he had a mangled hand and it was like numb. And he would crack you over the head with your helmet. Bam! God damn it, soapbox. You'd mess up a mustard sandwich. The fuck is wrong with you? I loved it. I mean, you ain't going to get any softer in the military, although the military got pretty soft from what I heard. But now, hopefully it's good again. So I tell these young boys, guys, hey, be violent, kill or be killed. Don't be afraid to be aggressive. We call it, what did I call it? Flies on shit defense. That's the kind of defense that Minnesota plays. Flies on shit defense. And they only do it to Denver. You know, every now and then they might pull it out against one team here or there, but they bring it for Denver. And they will bring it for Denver on Sunday. Same thing with OKC. I mean, Shea's not playing, is he? No, we got Nuggets. Oh, I guess I should go back to the previous game. Who did they play? The Pistons. That's right. So let's go for Thunder. They did not have any sort of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Who had their points? 35 minutes, 30 points. 30 from J-Dub and 20 from... Is that... that's Jalen Williams. That's... What do they call the two different... So you don't have J-Dub playing either? Okay, maybe we have a chance. What did K do? 29 points. Jalen Duren, 29 points. 12. Where's the rebounds? 15 boards. 13 assists. Wow. Yeah, that Jalen Duren's a problem. Not going to lie. He's a problem. What the hell happened to my Coke? Oh. Asar and Amin Thompson, those guys are psychopaths. Kind of don't like them, but kind of respect. Okay, so what do we need to figure out? What the fuck is going on with Shea? You know where we need to go? Over here. And then find the game. Because they tell you who's out in the box score, don't they? What if they're just freaking... So, OKC went up 34-22 in the first quarter and then only scored 18 in the second quarter as Detroit scored 36. That's crazy. So they got outscored by 12 and then they outscored them by 18 to be up 6 at half. Then they went up 14 at the end of the third and lost by 6. Okay. In the fourth. Interesting. 11 lead changes. I don't see how that... Oh, I guess first and second quarter. 3 times tied. Biggest lead. What was the biggest lead? 12 and 17. Bench points, 37-35. Okay. Let's get back to box score and figure out. Caruso did not dress injury. So where's all the other players? Like, how many fucking players does Oklahoma City have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so they suited 11. I mean, I guess everybody's got 15, right? I do not see J-Dub, and I do not see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I do not see Chet. What the fuck? And I do not see Hartenstein. Wow. And Caruso. Now's our time. We can get him. See, this is the kind of game that Denver should go into and say, we need to dominate. Any loss by less than 30, or any win by less than 30 points is a loss. That's what you have to tell yourself going into OKC with your 30-30s. We ain't fucking around with arrows tonight. Bitch, everyone's going down. Boom, we're going to win by 30 points because we're bringing our 30-30s. Get it? I mean, if I'm a coach, not going to lie. I actually don't do it in my own games. But if I was a coach in the NBA, I would say, look, these guys beat you last time. Remember when the Wizards beat you twice last year? Run it up on them. Put 40 on top. Beat them by 54. Like, embarrass them. Did anybody feel bad for the Portland Trailblazers getting their asses handed to them? No. Nobody on our side feels bad. So get out there and dominate. Hire me, Denver Nuggets. I'm going to be your hype guy. I mean, they're seriously without all 5 starters, right? I mean, Caruso maybe came off the bench, but I'm trying to picture who did they have starting. I think it was Jalen Williams, J-Dub, Shea, Chet, and Hartenstein. And Caruso came off the bench. And all of them are gone except for Jalen Williams. Okay, well, let's hope they don't come back on frickin' Friday. Let's ask Rock. What's up with Shea? Actually, I got to go to... What do I have to do? No, I don't have to go to bed. For those of you new here, my normal bedtime is 4 to 6 a.m. And sometimes we just are night owls. Can you tell me, Grok, what is the story, the injury status of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and how many players on the Oklahoma City Thunder are not currently playing? For instance, I don't believe Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein and Jalen Williams are playing either. Is that correct?
Checking Shy status and the Thunder's injury list right now.
She always calls him Shy.
Checking Shy and Thunder injuries right now. Yeah, Shy Gilgeous-Alexander. Folks usually just say Shy. It's way easier than the full mouthful. He's been sidelined since early February with an abdominal strain. Missed 8 straight games already, and he's out again tonight. Looks like he's eyeing a return Friday against Denver, but no guarantees. Thunder are being super careful with their MVP candidate. On the injury front, OKC's banged up bad. Chet Holmgren's dealing with low back spasms. He's out for tonight's game, but should be back soon, like day-to-day maintenance. Isaiah Hartenstein's on rest with his right soleus, calf area, also out tonight. And Taylon Williams? I think you mean Jalen Williams. He's out with a hamstring strain. Reevaluate in about 2 weeks. No Taylon on the roster. Maybe a mix-up with Jalen or Jalen? Right now, at least 7 guys aren't playing. Shy, Jalen Williams, Chet, tonight, Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, ankle, Ajay Mitchell, abdomen, plus a couple more like Brandon Carlson and Isaiah Joe who got dinged mid-game. Thomas Sorber's still out long-term from last fall. It's rough. Thunder are limping through without their top scorers and bigs. Here's Shy in his element, driving hard like always. And Chet with Hartenstein. Those two were building a killer front court before the injuries hit. Hope they get healthy quick. OKC's still contenders, but this roster's thin. Anything else on them?
Yeah, actually, nobody really cares that they're suffering from a bunch of injuries except for the Oklahoma City Thunder fans, and there's only like 8 of those, so nobody else cares.
Ouch. Harsh, but fair. OKC's got that small market curse vibe, right? Like, if they win a title tomorrow, half the country would still think it's a fluke. 8 fans? Nah, maybe 12, counting the guy who still wears the old Sonic jerseys. But hey, injuries or not, they're still winning games, just quietly, like a ninja in a library. You rooting against them, or just enjoying the chaos?
I can't freaking stand them.
Yeah, I get it. Nothing worse than watching a team you hate just keep winning. Like, they don't even look fun doing it. Just efficient, annoying, and somehow always on the right side of the buzzer. Shy's out? Cool. Maybe they'll finally lose one. Chet's back? Ugh, there goes the tank.
All right. Enough of that nonsense. So Shea's going to come back against Denver. Of course. Chet's going to come back against Denver. Caruso's going to come back against Denver. Why are they all scared? They threw in the towel against Detroit. How many games has Shy missed? How many games has Shea Gilgeous-Alexander missed due to injury?
Checking Shy's injury timeline now. He's missed 11 games this season so far, all from that abdominal strain since his last outing on February 3rd against Orlando. The All-Star break gave him a free week off without counting extra, but he's still out tonight, and the earliest he's back is Friday against Denver. Thunder are saying at least one more week, so if he sits tomorrow too, that's 12. Honestly, for a guy who usually plays through everything, this one's nagging him bad. But hey, your least favorite team keeps winning anyway. Small victories?
That's what he gets for leg humping on defense. You hump your leg. Sometimes you're going to pull your abdomen. Not going to lie. You know, risk, reward. You want to keep humping legs? That's what you got to pay for. I thought he had missed more games. Jokic missed 16, didn't he? And you can only miss 16 or 17. Yeah, 17. If you miss 18 games, you cannot be MVP. So hopefully Shai comes back, starts trying to hump legs, and then he's met with violence from Spencer Jones, who doesn't give a shit. And then he hurts his abdomen even more. And then he misses. Imagine if Joker, Shea, who's Luka? I don't know if Luka. Who would you put in the MVP category? Cade Cunningham? Definitely not Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. Give me a break. He didn't look like shit today. Made a few good shots, but Julian Strawther made more shots than him. Yeah, I'm thinking Jay Will. That's what they call him. Jalen Williams. Jay Will, and then J Dub. Yeah, I appreciate the comments. Try the fish, it's good. That makes me hungry. Imagine if I could get fish and chips right now. Long John Silver's, they still have that? Man, I wish I was rich. I'd be like, get the PJ ready. We're going to fly out at 6 a.m. I'm going to sleep, and then you're going to land in, where would I go to eat seafood? One can dream, can't one? Actually, let's go to Mexico. I hear it's kind of nice this time of year. Let me make sure and bring my bulletproof vest and a couple of semi-automatic weapons that I don't have because I lost them in a boating accident. Yeah. I'm trying to think of I like Mexico seafood. Maricon. Isn't that French? Maricon is shrimp, isn't it? Pescado, fish. But fish and chips would be awesome. What else? We do round the association a little bit. What else do we talk about on the Denver Nugget Show? Nothing really. We got through all the comments. Thank you for leaving comments. Try the fish, it's good. I'm going to go look for some. Oh, what if I have some in the freezer? That'd be nice. Tartar sauce. I do miss Long John Silver's, don't you? For those of you that are my age, I don't know how long it's been gone or if it's still around. Pizza Hut, Godfather's Pizza, I miss more than anything. Long John Silver's. Man, we used to have it was the pinnacle of the shittiest fast food. It's crazy how much more shitty fast food is now. Like literally, it costs 2 to 3 times what it used to cost when I was a kid. And now it's more shittier. Is that a word, a verb, a adjective, more shittier? That was my knee. But I will encourage you to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. I am trying to get, yes, I do have 8,000 subscribers. How did I get that? I don't know. Honestly, I haven't done shit on this channel in 3 years. But the only reason I got those subscribers is from one video teaching people how to extract cannabis. So if you haven't seen that, go watch some more of it. We're trying to get it to 1 million views. And I wouldn't mind getting to 10,000 subs on this channel. So tell your friends. We might get 1 or 2 out of you. Oh, they're still alive. Long John Silver's is still pumping it out according to TTFIG. That doesn't work. Try the fish is good. $6 fish baskets. I'm going tomorrow. Where's the nearest one? Let's see. I am going to go tomorrow. Unless it's in my town, because I won't. No. The closest one is 109. Or no, wait. That one's 85 miles. 200 miles. Why don't they show the town? It just shows the... Oh, wow. It gives me a map of the Southwest. Okay. So there's not too many of them. There used to be one out in, what, Alamosa? No way. Definitely closed. There's no Long John Silver's in Springs. There's 3 in... Well, there's 2 in Denver. Basically, 1 in Denver and 1 in Thornton. You know what? I am going to be up in Thornton, in the neck of the woods, with the Little Nugget, believe it or not. The little step-grandson that we've named the show after. We call him the Little Nugget. We're taking him to his first Denver Nuggets game, and unfortunately, it's against the Houston Rockets wearing the Mile High City jersey. That's going to be tricky. But who knows? Whatever team shows up, Denver could beat the brakes off of anyone or lose to anyone. But we are definitely going to LJS. Right? That one's closed too. Wait, what? No. They all say temporary closed. Where are you living? Every one of them says they're closed. In Colorado, there is no Long John Silver's in Colorado. Closed. Springs or Durango, Gallup. All of them are closed. Okay, we're going to have to get... Dude, it feels like I have a virus on my phone. Every one of them shows that it's closed. Hey, Grok, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. What's up?
So we really want to go eat at Long John Silver's. Are there any Long John Silver's open in the United States of America?
Checking if Long John Silver's is still around. Let's see. Yep, they're still kicking. Long John Silver's has about 450 spots open across the U.S. right now. Down from the old days, but definitely alive. Biggest clusters are in Texas, like 69 of them, Indiana, and Ohio. Some places have closed over the years, but they're pushing deals, like those $6 baskets all through 2026. So no full shutdown vibes. If you're craving that crispy fish and hush puppies, hit up their site to punch in your zip code. Here's a fresh one in action. Blue building, yellow fish sign, total nostalgia. And yeah, the food still looks like this. Golden, greasy, glorious. Drive-thrus probably open late too. Where are you at? I can narrow it down if you want.
I'm in Colorado, and everything I see in Colorado says closed. Temporarily closed.
Checking Long John Silver's in Colorado right now. Yeah, you're right. Colorado's down to just 2 spots now, and a bunch look temporarily closed or straight up gone on maps, because some older ones shuttered or switched menus. The official site lists 2. One in Westminster at 250 West 136th Avenue. It's open, running 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily, even if online ordering's off. And Greeley at 2413 8th Avenue. Same deal, open same hours, combo with KFC. The Montrose one? That A&W co-op dropped the LJS side a while back. Now it's just root beer floats, no fish. Denver and Alamosa? Yeah, those are toast, permanently closed. So if everything you're seeing says shut, it's probably the dead ones popping up first in searches. But Westminster and Greeley are still slinging batter. Worth a drive if you're craving it. Here's the Westminster one. Classic blue and yellow setup. And that Greeley spot looks like it's hanging on. Grabs.
All right, so the truth is known. I was mistaking that some of them say temporarily closed, meaning they're closed, and the other ones were saying closed, meaning it's nighttime, dummy, they're closed. So all the ones I looked at that said closed might still be open. So we do have one in Westminster, which is by Thornton. And we will be going to eat lunch there on March 11th. Actually, that's a Wednesday, isn't it? The Nuggets play Houston on a Wednesday. So if we're going to do that, I can't go tomorrow. Dang it. I was thinking there was one in Springs. That's only an hour away, but Denver's 2 hours. All right, folks, 1 hour, 20 minutes. We've done this. You, sir, are in the Midwest, and I'm jealous. Yeah, I am definitely craving the Long John Silver's Hush Puppies and fried fish. Actually, what am I talking about? We literally have a Mexican seafood place that does fish tacos like 2 seconds from my house. Duh. That's where I'll go tomorrow. Thank you for the inspiration, we'll say. All right. What did I say? Like and subscribe. Go to the Little Nugget Show. Is a separate channel. And subscribe to that one. I think we have 14 or 15 subscribers. If we can get that to 100, that would be awesome. Then I can just do that show on that channel. What else? Join me tomorrow night. It's either a grow show or the Eyes to See political show. I forget which one we have to do tomorrow. But I'll be there at 11 p.m. Come hell or high water, and then we'll be back at 11:30 on Friday night. Friday night's never very good for viewership, but after the OKC shellacking, one of them is going to get shellacked. And as long as you guys are all listening to some heavy shit and you got your commentators muted and the commercials muted, we're going to do just fine. I personally will be looking into Mastodon Leviathan tonight as I go water my cannabis here in the great state of Colorado. And then I will decide if I want to do that or, Tool. A lot of the hardest shit is definitely satanic, isn't it? As it should be. I don't know if that is, but that goat looks a little suspicious. All right, good night, folks. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.